You're back in the fantasy bar. It's Friday. That means NBA, 6 of my favorite plays ready for you to go on FanDuel and DraftKings, including some of my favorite value plays on the slate. We're going to exploit some injuries and some matchups. We got some games. We are going to give you some correlation in, and I've got a beast of the night who's in a smash spot. Already crushed his team once. I think he does it here once again tonight, and very underpriced in my opinion. Who we talking about? Only one way to find out. It's time to belly up to the fantasy bar. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack. Good to be back here in the fantasy bar talking NBA. I got 6 guys fresh off the tap for you on FanDuel and DraftKings. Thank you, as always, for stopping by, hanging out in the fantasy bar, and checking out today's video. Now, if you like hanging out in the fantasy bar, all we're asking in return on this free video, click that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and check out our props and pick'em package. Been absolutely crushing this. If you have not checked it out yet, you enjoy betting props, why not arm yourself with some great information? That link in the description of the video. So go check that out. We got Saturday NFL. We got Sunday NFL. Speaking of NFL 6-pack coming out later today. So keep an eye out on that as well if you are into the NFL. All right, let's talk some NBA here for tonight's slate. Let's start with some value at small forward, power forward with Tari Eason of Houston. So great value here. We don't have a ton of value on this slate, but Eason really stands out. The minutes on the rise, the role on the rise, and the production really been on the rise here. And even coming off the bench, this guy's absolutely getting it done. Double-doubles in each of the last 2 games. 40 or more DraftKings points. In fact, 46 per game for him over the last 2. And good matchup here with the Memphis Grizzlies. Bottom 10 in fantasy points allowed to both small forwards and power forwards. Do we get 40 again? Who knows? But I think we get a solid 30 to 35 easily, paying off these numbers at minimum. Tari Eason, one of my favorite values here for Friday night. All right, let's go to the other side of that game at power forward center with Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. So Desmond Bane dealing with an illness does not sound very good here and in danger of missing another game here. When he was out, Jackson really carried the load for this Memphis Grizzlies team. 41 and 44 points scored, just points over the last couple of games. We know what he does with all the other stats, the rebounding, the blocks. So if he's getting 40 points, we're talking massive ceiling outputs here for Jaren Jackson Jr. And the price is just not reflecting that right now. Both sites under 9K. We're talking 50 or more DraftKings points now in 3 of the last 5. We just saw this game, 65 fantasy points for Jaren Jackson in that one. If Bane's out, Jaren Jackson, lock and load in all formats tonight here in this matchup with the Houston Rockets. All right, let's find some more value at shooting guard, small forward with Kelly Oubre Jr. of Philadelphia. So Philly projected for about 1 million points here, and it makes sense. Detroit, horrible defense. We'll talk about them here in a minute, but I love the pace in this game as well. Not only is it a bad defense, both these teams top half of the league in pace. We mentioned Detroit defensively, 6th worst in defensive efficiency this season in the league, and Oubre, a guy I really think can kind of step up and fill that 3rd, 4th role on this team. We know all about Joel Embiid. No issues if you can get him in your lineups tonight. Maxey been fantastic. Tobias Harris has his ups and downs. I think Oubre can fill kind of that Tobias Harris type role for this Philadelphia team. So the minutes should start to trend up. The production, the usage, I think the best yet to come here. And I think we're at the floor of this guy's production and most importantly, his pricing. Let's get out ahead of it. And Kelly Oubre, big night coming here against the Detroit Pistons. All right, up next, let's go to center in one of my favorite matchups with the Charlotte Hornets. Tonight, we get Jonas Valanciunas of New Orleans. So Joe Val, a guy that's been very good to us, had him in here, I believe, last week and crushed double-double. Seems to do that every single night of late. We also have Zion Williamson, shockingly listed as questionable here for tonight. So tons of usage here for the New Orleans Pelicans. Quite a few options I really like on this team. Joe Val sees over a 2.5% usage bump with Zion off the floor this season, and now 5 double-doubles for him in the last 6. Hornets could be down quite a few bigs here. Mark Williams listed as doubtful, and PJ Washington also listed as questionable. It's already a team that struggles with bigs. We know that going back years and years. If they're going to be missing 2 bodies here, for Nick Richards in for it. Charlotte, bottom 10 in fantasy points allowed to this position, but most importantly here, 3rd most rebounds per game allowed to centers. I think Joe Val, double-double lock. I think 15-plus rebounds, not out of the question. So if you're into betting props, that is one I would look into. Joe Val, my favorite center here for Friday night. All right, let's stay in the mid-range at point guard next with Dennis Schroder of Toronto. Anytime Atlanta's on the slate, you want some exposure, especially against Trae Young here. We just saw this game, a ton of points. We get another huge total here, 244.5, 1.5 point spreads. It should be a close, competitive, high-scoring game. We know it's been a roller coaster with Schroder, but of late is really starting to lock it in. 35 or more DraftKings points in 4 of his last 7 games, averaging over 8 assists per game over the last 7. The Hawks giving up a ton of assists to this position, second most in the entire league per game here. I think Schroder, another bet you can look into. Dennis Schroder assists tonight. I think the scoring will be there as well. I think 40 DraftKings points on the table here for Dennis Schroder. All right, it's time. Take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. Before we do that, let's continue our Beast of the Night contest. Free to play. All you got to do, click that thumbs up button and head to the comment section and guess fantasy points for my Beast of the Night on FanDuel tonight. Whoever's guess is the closest, hey, we're going to give you an absolutely free week of RotoGrinders Premium just for hanging out here in the fantasy bar. All right, let's wrap this baby up with my favorite play for Friday night. No mask, Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time, and we are going to go to the young phenom power forward center, Victor Wembanyama, tonight's Beast of the Night. Pricing FanDuel 10-3 feels a little light there, but DraftKings down at 9,100. In my opinion, one of the most mispriced players on the higher end here over on DraftKings. Should be a $10,000 player with all that he does on the floor. We just saw this game the other night against Anthony Davis. Tough matchup here with him and the Lakers. And Wembanyama was fantastic. 30 points in that game, pulled down 13 rebounds, 6 block shots. That's 6 double-doubles for him in a row. 50 or more DraftKings points in 6 of his last 8 games. I think the roll continues here. I think 60, potentially 70 DraftKings points. Hell, let's roll with the 70 burger. I think he outdoes his production from the other night. Victor Wembanyama, too cheap. I think he smashes here once again on Friday night. All right, guys, that'll do it for our Friday night NBA 6-pack. As always, any comments, questions, or feedback, feel free to hit me up in that comment section right below the video. You can also follow me on Twitter at Beermakersfan, and don't forget your guess for Victor Wembanyama's fantasy points on FanDuel for a shot at a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut. Best of luck on the slate tonight, guys. Again, NFL 6-pack will be out later today. My Pints and Picks video with 2 of my favorite NFL bets starting to heat back up on that as well will also be out. So check all of that out. Make sure you subscribe. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, do it now. Have a great weekend. Thank you for watching. Good luck in the NBA and NFL this weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist.